Hey class, welcome back to Chapter 2, Percentages, Ratios and Rates. Today we are looking at exercise 2b, percentages, decimals and fractions. So on the screen right now you'll see a flowchart between each of those three forms of number. Of course they're all the same thing, and we'll be looking at converting between each of those today. So in today's example, I do have one big example with all 6 conversions, and without further ado, we'll jump straight in. So we're going to complete the table converting between decimals, percentages, and fractions. So in row 1, we want everything to be equivalent to 56%. Row 2, everything needs to be equivalent to 3/8, and in row 3, everything should be equivalent to 0.05. Okay. So we'll jump straight in. I'm going to work from left to right and from top to bottom in the table. I've left a little bit of room around it just for me to do some working as well, of course. So we'll start with 56% converting to a fraction. So we've got here a percentage, we're going to a fraction, so I'm going to follow the outside arrow. To do that, we need to write the percentage number over 100. So we don't actually write the percentage symbol when we do that, otherwise we're dividing by 100 twice. So just 56 out of 100, and then we need to simplify that fraction as we always should do with our fractions. So we need to find the highest common factor of both the numerator and denominator. I can promise you that it is 4, so I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by the number 4. That then gives me 14, so 56 divided by 4 is 14 over 25, okay, because 100 divided by 4 is 25. And that's it. That is our fraction in simplest form. Yes, you must always simplify your fractions. As a decimal, this is nice and easy. All we need to do is divide by 100, which is the same as moving the decimal point, currently a whole number 56, back 2 to give us 0.56. Hint, percent means out of 100, so the last digit given should be in the hundredths column in your place value. All right, we'll jump onto the next row. So 3/8, this is a little bit of a tricky one. We'll start by converting 3/8 as a fraction to a percentage. So to do that, and I'll put a little star in the box, we need to first multiply by 100 and then we'll use division from there. So that's the same as multiplying by 100 over 1. 3 times 100 is 300, and 8 over 1 is 8. 8 times 1, is 8. We can now set this up as a division problem. So how many times does 8 go into 300, or how many times does 300 divide by 8? Of course, we start with the first digit. 3 does not divide by 8 evenly, so we pop a 0, okay? And we carry the 3, because there is a 3 remainder. 30 divides by 8 3 times, so the closest multiple is 24. 3 times 8 is 24, which gives us a remainder of 6, okay, to get to 30. 60 divided by 8, our closest multiple is 56, which is 7 times 8, okay, and that leaves us with a remainder of 4. Now, I can't just add a trailing 0 here because now I'm dividing 3,000 by 8 when I want 300. So I'm going to make sure that I put a decimal place there, and of course when I hit a decimal point inside this division symbol here, I'm going to pop one up the top. And finally, 40 divided by 8 is 5. There's no remainder, so we're done. And we write our answer, 37.5%. To convert that to a decimal now is nice and easy. Again, we need to push the decimal back 2 places. So that gives us 0.375. Okay. If you had left this as a 3, your decimal point would have been here and then here. So you would have had exactly the same answer if you had done the decimal conversion first before the percentage. Converting between percentages and decimals is nice and easy. It's the fractions that make it a little bit more difficult. All right, the last example now. 0.005 as a percentage. When we were converting percentages to decimals, we moved the decimal point back 2. To go in the opposite direction, we need to multiply by 100, which is the same as moving the decimal point forwards 2, or to the right 2. And that just gives us 0.5%. Okay. and that's the same thing as multiplying by 100. Last little bit now, we're almost there. Okay, to convert a decimal to a fraction, we're going to use place value for this one, or you could use division if you would like. All right, so we'll use the place value. To do that, we need to look at the place that the last digit given is in. Here are our tenths, here are our hundredths, here are our thousandths. So I'll make that note here. So our thousandths column is the last digit. So what we write is 5 over 1,000, or 5 thousandths. Okay. We then, of course, need to simplify our fraction. And I believe that should actually say then simplify. I will edit that before I push these slides out. Okay. Use place value and then simplify. The highest common factor for the top and the bottom, so the numerator and the denominator, is 5. So I'm going to divide both the top and the bottom by 5 to give me a final answer of 1 out of 200. Okay, and that's all there is to it. Practice it for yourself, of course. Come next year, you will be allowed to use calculators to do these things, but for now you do still need to know how to do it by hand. Of course, check all of your answers on your calculators. There is a conversion button for fractions to decimals and back, which makes things a little bit easier. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at any time. Good luck with the work, guys.